is Aaron. Today I'm going to be reviewing Lust for Life. Lust for Life is the fourth studio album by Lana Del Rey. She's an American pop singer-songwriter. I'm a big fan of Lana Del Rey. You can see that by my shirt. I've always liked her music ever since I kind of heard her kind of come on the scene stuff. I always thought that she brought like a kind of unique flair to music. Her songs are really like idealized about like the American past and about like Americana and stuff. And it kind of talks about like the dark underbellies of that. Her songs are really like rich in imagery and like creating this story and this vibe, and feels really cinematic at times, which I really like. I like that. It really feels like old school movies, and I love her production too. It's really dramatic pop rock music, but I guess with kind of like a modern hip hop R&B flair to some of her music at times. I'm always looking forward to her music. I do think that Ultraviolet is probably my favorite of her albums, but I really love all of her albums. So anytime that she comes up with new music, I'm always kind of there for it, because she, to me, is one of the best people in pop music, making music. While I don't think this is as good as Ultraviolet, I do think this is a pretty great album and probably one of my favorite albums of the year. A couple problems with it, but I do think this is a pretty great album. The production is really stellar. She really is a little bit more expansive with her sound in this project. Like the first half of it kind of goes with a more traditional Lana Del Rey vibe, you know, really dramatic pop rock music, but it kind of has like a hip-hop flair to it. The song Cherry, which has these like strings and guitars, and then it kind of has like the hip-hop drum beat in the chorus. And then the song God Bless America and All the Women Still in It. It really has this like old school anthem vibe to it, but it also has this like 80s hip-hop drum that plays in the drum chorus. And I do think that's a really cool touch for her production. But that like melding of different genres really culminates with the song Summer Bummer, which just goes full on hip hop. It's like basically like a banger track. It really sounds like a dark Travis Scott song with the dark synths that play on it, and then just the hypnotic drum line that's just echoing over the song, and then the Playboi Carti ad-libs with A$AP Rocky's verse. That song is definitely the most hip-hop on this album. It's definitely like the most hip-hop song she's ever made. I'm curious to see what her fans think of that, because I'm a big fan, and I even thought that was kind of divisive, but I still thought that was a really great track and one of the best on there. So I'm kind of curious what you guys think. But then she has like these more traditional songs that she does, like Love, which really has like a slower but like a more positive sound, I guess. And then the song Get Free, which really sounds like a leftover from Ultraviolet, has that, you know, hippie, earthy vibe that I like to it. Like it really sounds like it'd be like a West Coast rock song from the 70s or something like that. I do think this is probably one of the most expansive and more immersive production that she's had on the album. She's really going for a lot of different flares and stuff with that, and I think that makes it more engaging for me as a listen. And I do like the lyrics on here too. She's always kind of talked about the underbelly of like the idolization and the romanticism of American Dream and Americana and stuff like that. I kind of feel like she's like the female musical version of David Lynch in that way, with the way that all his movies kind of explore that. All his movies and TV shows kind of explore that, like Twin Peaks or Blue Velvet. She really does that with music, and I do like that approach. But with this album, she does kind of do that, but she kind of has like a more positive, more uplifting message with that. Like the song Love, the youth kind of have this like adversity and all these things that are kind of going across us right now. We're trying to stay positive and trying to look forward to the future and kind of fight for better rights, stuff like that. And that has kind of a powerful message to that song. The song God Bless America and All the Women in It is definitely like more of like a women empowerment song, focusing on the positivity and unity for women, basically. And the song Coachella, What Stuck in My Mind, is basically about how Coachella is basically like a modern Woodstock, how she kind of wants it to kind of stand for something, so she kind of has messages while she kind of performs at Coachella, even though that's not really like that type of venue. It's not really as politically driven as Woodstock was. She's still trying to kind of keep that message kind of going across. I do really like that she kind of keeps her lyrical themes kind of consistent, but it really feels more expansive with the way that she's, you know, going forward with her music and stuff like that. I really like that approach with this album. I do like her voice. I think her voice is kind of a divisive thing about people. If you don't like her voice, you're not really not going to like it with this album, because she kind of does the same thing. It's kind of melodramatic, and I guess it's more atmospheric than anything. Kind of used as an instrument, but I do like that aspect of her voice. Like I like that she uses it as kind of like a complement to the music, and it really meshes really well. Like on Summer Bummer, she really fits in with that track. Like she sounds like she's like kind of haunting that song, and she sounds really like dark and stuff, and it really goes with the more melancholic and kind of moody atmosphere of that song. On Lust for Life, she sounds so naturally like romantic and loving on that track, and she really fits really well with Weeknd's voice, and they really make a good duet on that song. And then the song Get Free, she really sounds like a kind of beachy and earthy for girl or whatever like that, and it really fits with the overall like sound of that song. She's really like kind of like an instrument of the album. Her voice is really like kind of goes with the music. It's not like overpowering or kind of do anything too crazy. And I do appreciate that she stays in her lane, and it really fits really well with the music that she's doing, and I think it works splendidly with the music that she's doing. I do think that some of the lesser songs on there are kind of mess up the flow of the album. I think the first 10 songs are really great, and I think Get Free is a really good track. I think some of the other songs could really kind of be cut. I think this album's like an hour and 10 minutes, give or take some minutes, and I do think that's kind of long. I don't think it really needs to be that long, and if it was like just those songs, it would have kind of been a more consistent and kind of tighter album. But overall, I do think this is a really great album. I think the production is really good. It's really expansive, really moody, and just really catchy. I think that the lyrics are really cool, that she's kind of keeping the themes of like this nostalgia and this longing for the American past and Americana and stuff like that with a kind of darker side to it, but she kind of has a more positive spin on that. And I do like that her voice really fits with the music. It's like an instrument, and it really fits with whatever song she's going on. I do think that some of the songs in the second half of it are kind of not as good. They're more spacey, I guess. I'm not really that big of a fan of those songs. But I do think this is a pretty great album, and overall I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I don't think this is as good as Ultraviolence. That's probably my favorite of hers still, but I do think this is a pretty great album and probably one of my favorite albums of the year. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on Lust for Life. What are you guys' thoughts? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments what you thought, and thanks for watching. Thanks, guys. Bye.